good answer. Jody, you are on the cold face. You're speaking to end users every day. You have to manage their expectations. How do you feel vendors, and it's not bespoke to HPE, it could be any vendor. How do you feel that vendors could be doing more to help deal with these challenges?
There's probably quite a few ways. And none of the guys really mentioned probably the end user management and the situation that they're in. As we know, SunGard went under as a business and was bought out. We had clients that need to shift a load of servers. What they needed to do is buy some new servers, long story short, and put them in the new data center. They needed to do it quickly. That was impossible for them to do. So they back-ordered some servers. We found another solution. So we had to try and re-engineer another solution, enable them to do that, while the other kit is on order. Now, that's fine. Those servers, say, took 9 months to deliver, but our credit with distribution is eaten up by that. So that's 300,000-400,000 eat up on that particular deal, 500,000 there, 50,000 there, 20,000 there, all waiting 6, 7, 8, 9 months for delivery, where our credit is tied up with our distributors. So there's no real, I guess, support from HPE in that perspective. Whether that should be expected or not, I don't know. Another way of doing it, but that's been a challenge. You mentioned the circular economy, the pre-owned stuff. And what was happening with that, due to supply and demand, the pre-owned stuff was then coming out considerably more expensive than buying, back ordering or buying new kit. So there are just real life situations and challenges. But I think probably the main thing is communicating directly with customers and actually having full conversations and explaining why that shortage is. And as soon as they know and they hear it from HPE, then they're totally fine. They understand it. When the details explain to them about a specific array controller and that specific chip caused a shortage in that particular server, they get it. They're totally fine with it. But listening to it sometimes from partners, whether you're trusted or not, is sometimes more challenging. So I think there could be an assistance from a financial perspective of the vendor, but also managing that client communications as well, I think is massively important, because ultimately we're at the coalface of that. So
no, I agree, right? And I think vendors should step up. I've had many calls with customers, and you do that, you explain it, as you say, and they get it, right? Because they're facing it, as I say, in their personal lives, right? We're seeing a lot of customers forward order for 12 months, right, to get through it. And that's not, that's not just these big customers. We're seeing it across the board with it all. So, and financial help, I think we've got to be better there. I agree. We give some financial help to our distributors. We hope that they pass some of that along the chain, but we understand, the challenge you have. But I think we do need, as all community, as all vendors, we all need to step up, right? And have those conversations jointly with you. I know I have them. My team have them. The end user guys have them. You need support. We should help.
Absolutely.
And yeah, just wanted to say, I think it's another point of where we can really kind of start to collaborate. So with, like with Jody, yourself. And
it sounds like I'm moaning. I'm just saying actually how it is.
Say it how it is. You've got to be honest here.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. But I think, maybe we can pick up afterwards how we can potentially help with that challenge. Because I guess through the ways we can help a customer to potentially finance what they're buying, we can hopefully help to reduce that time to payment and solve some of the issues around the credit line to disti.
Yeah, it's a good point. I spoke to Joe about this, and I thought, when I heard that you were doing this sort of HPE festival, I thought, do you know what? Really, really brave, and kudos to you for putting an event like this on. I think it's been fantastic.
He's not listening.
Joe, you're supposed to be listening to this. I said, kudos to you for putting on an event like this. I think it's been great. I don't know any other vendor that would have done something like this, so it's pretty bold. Is there any sort of misconceptions about HPE in the market you think, do you know what, that we should actually be saying? Because to me, you've done something that you might not have done 4 or 5 years ago. This wouldn't have been something you'd have been as bold as to do.
I think that's your best question.
Well, you can answer it now, Lewis, can't you? Eh?
He's got one in him. No, I did go to the channel. I was one of your first panelists, I think. Yeah, that was
you
good.
And Mark.
Mark, yeah. So, I think people still see us. And by the way, this is my family as well. Can I have a printer toner cartridge or whatever? And they see us as that company of, and I wrote about this 25 years ago, right? We're different. The people around here that you see, partner is in our DNA. It's one of our core values. And we're not that, although we are that 75-year-old company, right? But I think we've changed a lot, right? We don't just, we're not the market leaders in all these areas like we once were as one big company. So we need partners. We need partners with, as I said before, added value, partners with IP, that stickiness that you guys have got with your customers, and you've got other solutions. So I think to see HP as that, it's a bugbear of me to see us as that old company that, we've got some great heritage we talked about at the very start today. But I think you see us in a different light, us doing this type of event, showing out in force, and partnering with you great people out there. So if that's a good answer or not.
It is. And I have to you, obviously, you are HPE as well. Is this something you supported? I think it's been a great event. I think, lots of your partners have turned out today, and you're obviously a channel-friendly business. Do you think you could see more of this sort of stuff for HPE to change the perception of the business?
100%. I think what's happened today is, I think it's incredible. Great food, great people. What more could you want? And this is the time when you really get to know people, and that's what makes a difference about working together. So yeah, I'm all for this. More music, more great food.
Absolutely. So 2 more questions. I know you're all dying to get us off
Hold on,
stage.
speaking of food, how many burgers have you had, Mark?
I did have 6 burgers, actually, yeah.
I thought you were 3, at least.
6.
He had 6, yeah.
I had 5, and then Jodie turned up and I had 1 more. But we will go past that. We'll go back to the questions. Keep it serious. The current headwinds in the economy, what's going to be the predictions, Lewis, in the next sort of 12 months? Where do you see the market going?
Well, we talked about it earlier, right? Mark talked about there's a lot of value that we can unlock with customers, whether it be with HPFS, whether it be with the IP that you guys have selling services. What we don't know is where the componentry costs are going to be. We're having to buy this stuff well in advance, so that can force prices up. Hopefully it doesn't force it up too much, and the government gets itself back on track now, once we get past the next couple of weeks. So I like to think that it's in a healthy state, the channel business. I was with a partner this morning, I had a breakfast with a partner this morning, and they're telling me that there's 85% of the market to go for, and they're very optimistic that they're going to go and grab some of that market. So partners are investing. I think there's going to be some consolidation in the marketplace as well. We're already seeing that. We're seeing there's one partner in the US who've acquired 30 resellers, and they're coming over here, right? So there will be consolidation.
Totally agree with the consolidation.
Haf, what do you think about the market? Do you think it's going to be a good year for next year for the channel? Are you seeing that from your partners?
Yeah, for sure. I think we've got a lot of opportunity to collaborate, and I keep coming back to the same topic, but for me, it's all about sustainability. That's what customers are looking to achieve, and that's really where we can collaborate together to solve something that is a pretty global and big challenge, but everyone's talking about it, and there's never been a time more important than today to really solve that challenge. So yeah, collaboration in the channel this year around sustainability, I think, is going to be massive.
And I'm going to let Jodie close the show on that point, actually. Jodie, again, you're at the cold face, you're speaking to end users. Is sustainability on your end users' requirements? Are they talking about it? Are they demanding it from you? Because I keep on hearing vendors talking about sustainability, it's the biggest topic, etc. Are you getting those inquiries from end users to do with that?
Yeah, it tends to be on any proposals or tender or new supplier forms, there's an expectation to at least have some level of sustainability. I wouldn't say it necessarily comes from IT leaderships or strategic as much as maybe what you'd expect, but it tends to be more depends on the company and the vertical, but what we find, it tends to be a box ticking to a point, but an expectation you as a company and supplier should hit certain thresholds and have certain carbon neutral, etc. So it's more an expectation. And I think over time, probably the larger corporates and organization will start becoming more and more of a focus for them. But it depends on the industry, I think.
I suppose a partner out there today on one-to-one who, they weren't talking carbon neutral. They were talking carbon negative, right? So we've got a load of partners out there that are trying to get to neutral, but some of them
will be carbon negative by the end of this year. But so it is a thing. Because again, that's something to talk about. Because now people are carbon neutral. Okay, well, that's an expectation. How do you go that bit further? So
yeah, and I think, look, sustainability means different things to different businesses at the end of the day. So whereas one business might be heavily led by regulation and carbon reporting, to another business, maybe it's just around procuring in a bit more of a sustainable way, which is around being cost effective, doing things for the long term, and also having a good impact on the environment.
Great panel. You've been great guests. HPE community, thank you. That's a wrap.